The Red Sox gutted out a win last night against the Texas Rangers, but I do think we all still believe that some changes need to be made. We're going to talk about another trade idea in today's video, and I want you to let me know. Do you want the Red Sox to make a trade? I certainly think there are some upgrades that can be made. If you want the Red Sox to make a trade, the only thing you got to do is like today's video. If you like the video, I will know that you want the Red Sox to make a trade. How's it going, everybody? Welcome back into another edition of the Red Sox Rundown. Today we are talking about another trade idea from that same Bleacher Report article we discussed yesterday. Plus, the Red Sox, like I already said, gutted out a win last night over the Texas Rangers. It was a little ugly. We'll talk about Romy Gonzalez. We'll talk about Tanner Houck. We'll talk about the lineup and all of that on the back half of today's show. But first, let's talk again about that Kerry Miller Bleacher Report article that we discussed in yesterday's video about the 8 potential surprise trade candidates. What I didn't realize when I was reading that article is Kerry Miller actually linked the Red Sox to another one of those surprise trade candidates, and that is San Diego Padres closer Robert Suarez. Here is what Kerry Miller had to say about Suarez. He said, "We've already noted that Texas will almost certainly be on the hunt for a closer. Atlanta could be too if Raisel Iglesias continues to flounder. Possibly Boston in due time as well, but so far so good with Aroldis Chapman. Someone always desperately wants a closer though, and maybe San Diego capitalizes on that." So this is a very interesting conversation because everyone's firstly going to ask Jack, why would San Diego trade away their closer who has been basically ice in his veins so far this season? Well, the reason why is because they've one of the most stacked, legit bullpens in all of baseball, and they have other relievers in that bullpen that have closer experience. So they can potentially get rid of Robert Suarez. And another thing, Suarez is also on the last year of his deal. So why not go out and get as much value as you can for your all-star closer that you probably won't retain in the offseason because he's going to go into free agency. He's going to get a bag. And with how much your payroll already is high, I don't think the Padres would give him what he is worth. So the question now comes out, do the Red Sox want to make that trade? I think it makes sense. I really, really do. So far this season, in 16 innings pitched, I believe he has 14 saves, which leads Major League Baseball as well. He's only allowed 5 hits, 1 run, 4 walks. He has struck out 18 batters, and he has an ERA of 0.56. He has been the definition of ice in the veins. He has been one of, if not the best closers in all of baseball this year. And love it or not, the Red Sox need bullpen stability. We've seen it over the past few weeks. The Achilles heel of this team has been the bullpen. They have blown, I believe it's the most saves in baseball they've blown so far this year. And that's not even Aroldis Chapman. That's Justin Slayton and Garrett Whitlock and others. Chapman's been good. He looked a little shaky at times last night's game, but he still got the dub. But one, you don't even have to guarantee you're making Suarez the closer. I think you would. I think he would instantly be the closer, but it's just added bullpen stability, and it's stability that you know will be consistent. Garrett Whitlock, great, inconsistent. Justin Slayton, great, inconsistent. Brennan Bernardino, great, inconsistent. Greg Weisser, great, inconsistent. Robert Suarez would be a consistent member of your bullpen, and I think would be highly, highly valuable for this team. And again, he probably won't cost that much because he is a rental. So what could you give back in return? I cooked up this idea. I used the trade simulator, and how about a Robert Suarez for a Cooper Criswell swap. Hear me out. One, according to the trade value simulator, the Padres would actually be getting a surplus of value in that 1-for-1 swap. They need starting pitching help. Michael King and Dylan Cease are both going to be free agents at the end of this season, and they are both going to walk, and they are both going to make a crap ton of money. You get a controllable starting pitcher in Cooper Criswell that this year can come out of your bullpen when Robert Suarez leaves. I think that makes perfect sense for both San Diego and for Boston. Now, I know in yesterday's video we talked about Ranger Suarez and that one-year rental. I would much rather give up a Cooper Criswell for one of the best relievers in baseball so far this year than give up Ceddanne Rafaela, who I think you could get much more for a one-year rental of a starting pitcher who has injury concerns. I would do this trade a million times more than I would do the trade we discussed in the last video. But you guys let me know. Would you trade for Robert Suarez? Give me a T for trade if you would, or type P for pass if you would not. I would make this trade. I think it is a win-win for both sides. I think they're both getting value in their own ways. If the Red Sox start to put it together, this is a win-now season. I mean, it should be. They shouldn't even have to put together. This should be a win-now season. And if you get a consistent presence like Robert Suarez in your bullpen, you're cooking with gas. Because the only thing then that you have to worry about is the consistency of your rotation and your lineup starting to hit. We know the lineup eventually, hopefully we're praying, will start to hit. And then the rotation, I feel fairly okay about the rotation. So you let me know. T for trade, P for pass. Would you trade for Robert Suarez? Let's talk about the game. The Red Sox win 6-4. A gritty game, a scrappy game, but the Red Sox found a way to win. They came out and responded to the very ugly loss yesterday. And in a game where the umpires were botching legitimate, obvious calls that you could see in replay in the favor of the Texas Rangers, you found a way to win. Again, I will never blame a game on the umps. But the Wyatt Langford incident at the beginning of the game, if he is safe due to interference, you have to explain that. They didn't explain it in the game. They just said the call is upheld, he's safe. They didn't explain why, because Romy Gonzalez clearly had the ball and was stepping on the base, and Wyatt Langford did not touch first base. He should have been out. That inning should have been over. And then you have the sending, I forget who it was at the time. Oh, it was Christian Campbell. You send Christian Campbell on the long ball out into center field. He gets cut down, but if you look at the replay, he was safe. But they were already out of challenges because of the Wyatt Langford debacle. So, you add a run to the Rangers, you take a run away from the Red Sox. Inexcusable. Horrible umpiring tonight. It was egregious. But, again, the Red Sox found a way to win. You never blame a game on the umping. You never blame a game on the officiating. Ever. I will never. But bad calls. That's all I'm going to say. Tanner Houck, interesting game. 4 2/3. His pitch count got really high, really fast in the inning with the Wyatt Langford debacle, which should have been over way faster than it was. He allowed 6 hits, 2 earned runs, but 3 runs. Walked 2, struck out 2. I think in general he looked good. His pitch count went up very quickly in that inning. Which inning was it? I don't even remember which inning it was, but one of the innings when they scored, his pitch count went up really drastically. I think he probably would have gone longer in this game if that hadn't have happened. But I think an inconsistent, at times, start that then ended up working, in the Red Sox favor. Adolis Garcia took him yard. He's been going absolutely bonkers against the Red Sox this year. And overall, Houck did what he needed to do. He got the job done. Thankfully, because of Sean Newcomb the night before, the Red Sox had a basically completely good bullpen. Justin Wilson went 1 1/3 innings. He only gave up 1 hit. He struck out 2. Justin Wilson has looked great so far this year. Brandon Bernardino got the win tonight. He went 1 inning. Absolutely perfect. Greg Weissert went another perfect inning as well. And then Aroldis Chapman came in for the save. 1 hit, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 1 K. He did give up a home run at the end of the game. Literally first pitch of the inning, he gave up the home run to Josh Young. So not ideal for Chapman, but he still got the save. He got out of it. It is what it is. Overall, the pitching tonight, solid. Don't love to give up 4 runs, but again, one of those runs was in garbage time, and one of those runs shouldn't have been scored due to the Wyatt Langford debacle. But you guys go down below in the comments. You let me know. Grade Tanner Houck's out. A, B, C, D, or F. I'm going to give it a C+. I think it could have been much better. I don't think all of it was in his control, but definitely not the most seamless outing for him. He did struggle at times, but I think overall he looked okay. I'm going to give it a C+. Not the end of the world, but not great either. The offense concerns me, and that's saying something considering they put together a good game. They had 11 hits. They only struck out 1 time. That's got to be fake. That can't be real. There's no way they only struck out 1 time. That's what MLB.com is saying. I don't believe it. They only struck out 1 time tonight. 11 hits, 6 runs. Usually that would be a really good thing. However, all 6 of your RBIs came from 2 players, Wilyer Abreu and Alex Bregman. They both had 3 hits. They both scored 2 runs. They both had 3 RBIs. They had identical stat lines tonight. Alex Bregman had a home run, his 200th career home run. Wilyer Abreu had 2 home runs, a multi-home run game. The offense ran through them. Ceddanne Rafael also had a multi-hit game. He went 2 for 3. He scored a run, so he looked good tonight as well. But really, that was your offense. They put together some good at-bats. They put together some good innings, but they didn't really do much else other than Alex Bregman and Wilyer Abreu. So, step in the right direction, but it really was on the backs of 2 of your guys that got hot. So I'm not saying that the offense is back yet. I am still a little bit concerned, I won't lie. But nonetheless, they got it done. And a win is a win is a win, no matter how you stretch it out. It's a win. Bregman's OPS is again over 1,000, which is great to see. And on a day when the New York Yankees walk off the Padres in extra innings to get another win, you win and you keep form. I wish the Yankees would have lost today. Dylan Cease had a no-hitter going into the 6th against them. And then Cody Bellinger took him a yard to break it up. But look, at least you're keeping pace. You're 2.5 games back in the East. You should probably be leading the East with how unlucky and how just piss poor you've played over the past week. But nonetheless, with how abysmal the AL East has been this year, you're still within striking distance. So the Red Sox, I think, desperately need to win this series. They have to win tomorrow. I think with Brian Bayo on the mound, I don't remember who's on the mound for Texas, but I think you've got a great shot to win tomorrow. Win this series, because after this, you have a brutal stretch of games. You go to Kansas City, you go to Detroit, you welcome in the Mets, and you welcome in somebody else. That is just brutal. The Red Sox have had, and I know Tyler Milliken's talked about this stat, and I know a lot of people have talked about this stat. They've had the easiest stretch in baseball up to this point. Easiest strength of schedule, and they have not done well. Maybe it's them playing down to their competition and they'll play up to the harder competition. I don't know. But coming up after this series against the Rangers, you are going to Kansas City to play the Royals. Then you go to Detroit to play the Tigers. Then you welcome in the Braves, who are no slouch. You welcome in the Mets, who are no slouch. Then you have a 4-game division series against the Orioles, who have not been good this year, but it's still a division series and anything can happen. Then you go on the road to play the Brewers, and then you go on the road to play the Braves. And then you play the Angels at home, who have been okay this year. And then you go play the Yankees. Like, that's a tough stretch. And so they need to win tomorrow. They need to win tomorrow's series to get that momentum into this very tough stretch of ball games. They cannot fall behind. So tomorrow is going to be very, very important for Boston. Before we get out of here real quick, I want to give my thoughts on what everyone's been talking about on Red Sox Twitter, Red Sox social media, everywhere. Rafael Devers, should he play first base? Kind of talked about this in the Triston Casas replacements video, but this has become more of a thing. I think it makes sense to a point. I think if he really wants to play in the field like he desperately said he did in spring training, this is his opportunity to play in the field. However, I do think the situation is all a little bit awkward, and it's kind of disappointing because the Red Sox dug this grave earlier in the offseason when they kind of kicked around the can of Rafi playing DH and all of that. The communication has been horrible between Cora and Breslow and Rafi. And I think now they're trying to play a little bit of damage control by not abruptly telling him, hey, Ray, we're going to switch you up and now you got to play in the field. Like, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting from Alex Cora in all of his press conferences that have asked him about this. He's kind of kicked it around and said, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to add anything on. Guys, he works for you. He's under contract with the Red Sox. He's an employee of the Red Sox. You can tell him what to do. I understand he's the face of your franchise, but there comes a point when you got to do what's best for the team. And Rafi at first might be the best for the team. Now, I'm all for not breaking up his routine. I am all for that. He's starting to hit well. He's starting to get honed in at the DH position. You don't want to ruin that. But with Roman Anthony knocking on the door, this might be your best shot to get him up to the big league roster. If Rafael Devers goes to first, you can bring Anthony into platoon DH and platoon outfield. It kind of makes sense. And I think the way that Alex Cora has handled this entire situation has been really piss poor. They are waiting for Devers to volunteer. We know this. And that's not going to happen. He's not giving them any good grace after how they dealt with him in the offseason. So Cora, Breslow, if you really want him to play first, you're going to have to go talk to him about it. And I don't know if they will. But you let me know. Should Rafael Devers play first base? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. I think people are split. I think a lot of people are going to say yes, but I do think there are people that will say no. I'm a little in the middle here. I don't want to ruin his rhythm as DH, but also, is this the way to get Roman Anthony on the big league roster? Interesting conversations to be had. But you let me know. Y for yes, N for no. Let me know down below. That's where we're going to end it tonight, guys. Please, I hope the Red Sox win tomorrow. If they don't, I'm going to absolutely crash out. But we will still be here for a recap tomorrow like we are every day. Through the good and the bad, we are here for you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. And until next time, go Sox.